Kako, a Komoamedi curtain call, a weekly program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. Since 1970, Lynn Shue's Village Gallery was a mainstay for most of Maui's best artists. The gallery was a fixture at 120 Dickinson Street in Lahaina until it, an untold number of masterpieces, went up in flames on August 8, 2023. 10 months later, the Hui Noiao is honoring Ms. Shue and her artists with their latest exhibit. Entitled New Directions, a Village Gallery Showcase, it is an invitational show curated by Ms. Shue, featuring 28 artists. It must have been difficult to choose who to invite. Her list of 64 Maui artists are all well-known and loved. Ironically, the number of works in the show matches the number of artists she represents, 64. Many of the works have labels with explanatory notes on them, as well as artist title and media identifiers. While the notes are instructive, they're superfluous, as visual art is beyond words. Knowing the artist's intention often infringes on the joy of receiving the work through one's personal prism. A pet peeve. Debra Fair, the multimedia artist whose three-dimensional works are created from found objects, has 9 pieces in this show. They are colorful, creative, thought-provoking, and humorous. She always has her tongue firmly placed in her cheek. This is Mr. Y. Note the Village Gallery tag lay and the Y's scattered throughout the face. Yes, Y. Is there a Y? This is JJ. Look into his eyes, and this one is Carrot Head. Note the warning on the base, behave. Here is the Professor, the only frowning one. Note hope coming out of his head. This is Smiley. I think it is meant for the viewer to smile. Obviously, the kitty isn't. Be Kind has an apple on his head with star and rainbow for eyes. What do you think the title of this one is? If you said happy-go-lucky, you guessed it. And now we have Flower Power, exclaiming perhaps, oh my, and finally extra special, seems to be slightly cockeyed. The beautiful and always smiling Betty Hay Freeland left us in 2023, but her outstanding work lives on in homes and galleries throughout the world. Here is her oil-on canvas work, Aloha Anui Nui. It speaks volumes. Carlton Kincaid, whose work is just signed Carlton, has been with Ms. Shue for 30 years. He lost more than $50,000 worth of his works. He has 3 oil-on-canvas pieces in the show. This one, Iao Waters' 36th view of Iao Valley, greets the viewer entering the gallery. One feels almost voyeuristic invading a private moment between these two. This is The Clearing, 37th view of Iao Valley. Note the man in shadows walking down the path. When Mr. Kincaid has figures in his work, they are never the focus of the piece. They are almost like an afterthought. It wouldn't be a Maui show without George Allen. He has been a fixture on the Maui art scene since his arrival on the Carthaginian in 1973. This is what he said about Ms. Shue, quote, "It was largely due to Lynn's encouragement and introduction to the art and theater community in Lahaina that I put off returning to my home in St. Anton, Austria, as it turned out, permanently." Ms. Shue also introduced him to his future wife, Janet. Mr. Allen is no longer painting, but this seriograph of a Lahaina we all knew and loved is in this show. Linda Whittemore creates magnificent monotype prints. This is What Color Does, an exploration of halftones and the emotional power of color. Spiritscape celebrates the essence of shape. It almost looks like a seascape, McKenna Point if it had a peninsula. Along with Ms. Whittemore, Stuart Sharp is the only other abstract artist. Small, Mirage, that reminded me of the enlargement feature on my Photoshop app. It also had a distinct ocean feel. Medium, World Beyond, looks like an image from the Webb telescope. And finally large, Wabi Sabi, which means an appreciation of the beauty created by aging and the process of time. Tracy Dudley lost more than 30 works in the fire, nearly $100,000. But that hasn't stopped her from continuing her passion for the acrylic aquatic images she so beautifully depicts. Images such as Climb Through the Tide and A Beach Somewhere. I was surprised to see some high-fire ceramics she has dived into. This one is Red Sand Beach, Kai Halulu. Marianne Lee is among our most creative and prolific ceramicists. She informed me that one of her works was recovered from the rubble of the gallery, and she was soaking it to bring it back to life. This is one of her two-sided traveler's palm vase. You can just see a gorgeous arrangement of flora in it. He's been gone, selflessly taking care of his nonagenarian mom back in Pennsylvania, but certainly not forgotten. Eddie Float has two watercolors in this show, Flying Off the Shelf and Behind the Pottery Barn. I have referred to him as Maui's Andrew Wyeth, if Wyeth were a watercolorist. Jan Sato, the former art teacher at Baldwin High School, has trained some of Maui's best painters. Kirk Kurikawa is one of her most successful and outstanding proteges. This oil on board, simply titled Rider, captures the elegance and regality of the woman while showing the viewer what time of day it is without including any background. Around the corner is this astonishing action shot of an apanapane erupting from a blossoming ohia lehua, appropriately entitled Lele. Jean Bitz came from Alaska and has been a dominant force in the Maui art scene from her arrival until this day. Her ability to capture the essence of Maui is unmatched. Here is Kukua Aloha, an oil painting which is from the beach in Lahaina. We see the Hawaiian sailing canoe, Mo'ohokia o Pi'ilani. Joseph Fletcher has been keeping a very low profile for the last few years, so it was nice to see his work in this show. He has been with Ms. Shue for more than 30 years. This is an oil on panel entitled Roxy's Day Off. Pamela Hayes has been painting for most of her life, but her discovery of Pasca pens has transformed her work from the impressionism of the North Shore into an ecstatic paean to the dusk views from Haleakala. Here is the view from the lanai at dusk and view from Keokea at dusk. Others with excellent work in this show include Pam Andelin's oil of Keokea with Grandma's and Ching's store, Macario Pasquale's oil on panel Moonset Sunrise, Diane Ray Pizzo's glass torch ginger vase, as well as her koi platter. This exhibit celebrates many of our well-known artists, but it also recognizes some young talented students from Lahaina Luna High School and Maui Prep Academy. This is Treasure Hunting, a pen and watercolor ink by Rebecca Anki. Boredom by Mia Roberts is an exceptional exploration of the title and the possibilities of pen and ink. A mixed media work by Jenna Asio is entitled Beauty Exists to Hide the Urge to Destroy. Read the label. Here is an acrylic by Leah Burns, Peaceful Puamana. Note the linearity that provides a calm and peaceful air to the work. Michaela Bandy has taken on oil paint as her media. Atmosphere is a seascape with a message. The perspective of this colored pencil drawing by Senna Presbitero makes it. Pencil is the media by which many artists exhibit their skills early on. Winchell Aquinaldo's isotrophobia, which is the fear of mirrors and one's own reflection, is a fine example. Finally, this charcoal by Arjun Patel is truly outstanding. Look at the hands and then the softness in the face. Excellent work. Seeing these works by talented young people is uplifting and hopeful. New Directions of Village Gallery Showcase continues till July 27th, Tuesday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Throughout the exhibit, individual artists will be available from noon to 2 p.m. on selected days where the public will be able to meet them and watch their work. The full schedule is posted on the Hui website, www.huinoiao.com. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Maui strong. Ahui ho.